Hello boys and girls, I hope you're having a good day. So this video is going to be a short one. I want to talk about two things, your Frankenstein's cat thesis statement and also the body paragraph for what we call the gray area if you don't have a firm opinion on if one form of biotechnology is morally acceptable or not. So the first thing that I want to show you are two example thesis statements. So these were real thesis statements written by students, and what I did is I took their draft and I rewrote it. And I called it a second draft because each of the thesis statements that I rewrote can still be modified and made better. So this is just a draft. So the first draft of the thesis statement, the one the student wrote, is overall, cloning is acceptable, putting human hormones into goats is acceptable, but tagging animals is not acceptable. And I rewrote it. The one thing that I wanted to add into this thesis statement is the words moral, because the prompt is draw the line at what you think is moral behavior. So using acceptable is fine, but you want to explain why it's acceptable. So if you put morally acceptable, then it gives your reader a firm line at what you're looking at. Okay, you also want to explain it a little bit more here, because if a reader was to pick up your essay, all they should be able to do is just drop down to the thesis statement and they should know what your entire paper is about. So you need to be very clear. So I revised this to cloning animals and genetically altering goats is moral because it does not cause the animals to feel any physical or emotional distress, while tagging animals to track their movements is immoral because it can cause the tagged animals great physical and emotional harm. So what this student would now do is in the first two body paragraphs, it would then go back and define all the reasons why it's moral, and it would support, using quotes from the book, that these animals do not feel any pain, any emotional pain or any physical pain. Then for the paragraph on tagging animals, this student would then explain why she feels that tagging animals is immoral because of all the different harm it can cause the animals. Okay. For the second thesis statement that I took a look at, this was on a different paper. The thesis statement originally read, it is characterized by the things that are okay, the things that are not okay, and the gray area with mixed thoughts. So this is a very good start because I can clearly see that this section is about the first body paragraph. This is going to be the second body paragraph. And this is going to be the third body paragraph. So just needs to be tightened up. So remember, your reader needs to be able to just drop down, look at your thesis statement, and immediately know what your paper is about. So instead of it, you want to say biotechnology. So I rewrote this, and I looked at the rest of the student's essay, and the main issue in her essay was that she's focusing on whether or not it's helping humanity or harming animals. That's how she drew the line. So I wanted to put that into their thesis statement. So I rewrote this as, different forms of biotechnology are characterized by the ways in which that technology is morally acceptable due to the potential benefits for mankind, morally unacceptable to the harm and side effects it causes animals, or morally ambiguous due to the fact that the form of technology is equally beneficial for and harmful to animals. So this is a little long. I can definitely reword this so that it's shorter, but this is a more accurate thesis statement because the reader can immediately see exactly what's coming up. So the next thing I wanted to show you in this video is a sample gray area paragraph. So there were a lot of questions about, well, how do I write a paragraph? So I took a 7th grader's essay, found a gray area paragraph, and I just typed it up so that you can see what it looks like. This is a really good example. So I'm going to read it out loud and you can follow along. So she wrote, though many aspects of biotechnology are easy for me to analyze whether or not I support it, Tagging animals is one area I have a confused opinion about because this form of technology can be both beneficial and harmful. Tagging can be helpful because these devices are proving to be especially valuable for learning about life in the ocean. Page 9, Chapter 5. By learning more about the ocean, we can help many different organisms and help them to reach sustainable, stable population levels. We will also have more knowledge, and we may be able to discover something very helpful or interesting about the ocean. Tagging is very helpful in that way, but it can also be harmful because tagging has been associated with slower swimming speeds and growth rates, as well as muscle damage and scale loss at the site of attachment. Page 10, Chapter 5. This shows that tagging can seriously hurt an animal and affect its lifestyle. Anthe stated that some tagged animals were rejected and abandoned by their families due to the foreign object suddenly attached to the unsuspecting animal. Animals should not be hurt through biotechnology. Therefore, tagging is something that has left me with confused thoughts. It is something that I feel I could support if tagging were to become more advanced and improved in the future so that we could use it to learn about the ocean and sea life while not harming any animals. So, this was a paragraph that I enjoyed reading. I felt that it was very clear, used great concrete details, explained why those concrete details mattered. And I actually I feel like I can agree with this statement. She convinced me. So keep in mind, this is always an argumentative essay, so you want to be very clear, and your goal is to make the reader understand and support your side. Okay? So I hope this video helped. I tried to keep it short. If you have questions about your thesis statement, you can show it to me in class or send it to me in an email, and I will help you reword it. All right, I hope you have a good night. Thank you.